Hello, I am Staff Sergeant Foreman of Signals Dave Jarvis, and this video is part of a series of vlogs I'm doing with the aim of improving cycling around the Royal Corps of Signals and encouraging more people to take up this fantastic sport. Before I get into the topic, I'd just like to announce I'm going to use these videos as an opportunity to try and raise a little bit of money for the Royal Signals charity. I'll include a link to the Just Giving page in the post. If you appreciate these videos and you've got £1 or £2 to spare, anything at all, it'd be really gratefully appreciated. Thank you in advance. The topic. So I'm going to continue on from the previous two videos and talk about getting your bike set up correctly or bike fitting. The first video I talked about your footwear, cleats, pedals. The second one I talked about the saddle. The last one in this topic I'm going to talk about the handlebars. Now I'm going to mention a couple of key points first. It's important to get your position correct for three reasons. One, comfort. In my opinion, the most important one, because if you're not comfortable, it's going to impact your enjoyment. The second one's efficiency, getting the most out of it for the least amount of effort. Hopefully it's a no-brainer. And the last one is injury prevention. Now, making sure your legs are turning with your knees and everything pointing the right way, everything's at the right angles so that you can get the most out of it and be comfortable doing it, in a nutshell. If you've got a slight issue with your position, you might notice a slight niggle to start with, but it could become more painful and develop into something worse further down the line if it's not addressed. Okay, so you will hear me use phrases, a couple of phrases with a bit of regularity. Pay attention to the niggles and be prepared to test and adjust. Very important. Okay. Okay. The second key point I want to highlight is the order in which you build your position. Okay, there is a particular order you should do it. I've done the 3 videos in that order. If you haven't seen the previous 2, absolutely fine. The quickest and easiest way to catch you back up is basically to describe it as building your position from the ground up, working in that order. So start with your feet, then your bum, and then your hands. The 3 contact points you have with the bike. With feet, I'm talking about your footwear, whether it's a pair of trainers on flat pedals, if you decide to go to toe clips, if you then get yourself some cycling shoes and use some clipless pedals and cleats. As long as you are comfortable when you apply pressure to the pedals. Simple as that. The next part then is to deal with the saddle in terms of height, forward and back, and the angle. Okay, and then when you've got that squared away, it's the handlebars. Okay, and when we talk about handlebars, we are talking about height and reach. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is get the height sorted. So start as high as you can. Okay, as a rough visual guide, if you're just starting out, you want to set the top of the handlebars in line with the center of your saddle, the main body of the saddle. Okay, not the seat post, the saddle. Okay, now you may well see other cyclists out there with what looks like really high saddles and really low handlebars. It might look a bit scary and freaky, people doing that, but it is something we can all get to, but it just takes time to develop. Okay, the trick is to start high and drop a little bit at a time, a few millimeters at a time, until you get to your where you're comfortable height. Sorry. One little top tip that you could try is going beyond it as well. Go a little bit lower so you know how it feels to overreach. It's worth looking at. The lower you go, the more you're going to reach. Okay, the longer you're going to get. And if you're considering getting competitive, getting into racing, then that's essentially what you're aiming at. You want to get lower and longer within the limits of your comfort, so that you're more aerodynamic. It's as simple as that. If, however, on the flip side of that, you're doing it for leisure, you want to spend time with your family at weekend, you want to just get fit, you're not fussed about the aerodynamics of it, then absolutely fine. You keep it up high and stick to that, absolutely fine. But yeah, lower it step at a time. It is fairly straightforward. There are plenty of how-to videos on YouTube on how to do it. If you're not sure though, go and see your local bike shop. Okay, 3 benefits. One, they know what they're doing a lot more than myself and anyone else can really advise you of. They're the pros. They're getting paid to do it. The second one is you can test and adjust. You can try different ones. It might cost you another couple of pounds in labour, but it's worth it. And then the third one is you're supporting a local business, which is really important at the moment with the way the pandemic's impacted the economy. So yeah, win-win-win. Now, if you're confident doing the mechanical parts yourself, then as I said, step at a time, take one spacer out, the little, what look like larger washers underneath the bottom of the stem. The stem is the bit that connects the handlebars to the bike frame, I should add. But yeah, take one out, move the stem down, cover the excess with the spacer you just took out, and keep doing that until you find your comfortable limit, as it were. At each stage though, a top tip, check every hand position, okay? Now, I can't comment on all the different bikes, but on a road bike, there are 5 named positions, okay? So from the top, conveniently named tops, yep, that position there. Then it's the shoulder, okay, which is the bend at the top. Then you've got the hoods, which is the bit just above the brake levers. You've then got the hooks, which is where the point in the curve where you can still reach the brake levers. And then you've got the drops, okay? Now, you want to be comfortable in each of those positions, okay? In comfortable, I mean, you don't want to be feeling overstretched, you don't want to be feeling crunched up, you don't want to feel too much pressure in your hands or in your shoulders or in your lower back as well, okay? If you are, then either consider going back up a little bit, or if it's still not making any difference, if you keep going up and you still feel like you're overreaching, for example, or you're crunched up, then consider the length of your stem, okay? Now, it's easy enough to change that. You can buy the bits online, it's fairly straightforward. Like I said, there's plenty of YouTube videos, but it's worth going to see a local bike shop, in my humble opinion, because there are a range of different sizes. They go up and down the steps, and you can try out several different ones, okay? As I said, it might cost you a couple more quid in labour, but it's worth it, okay? It is worth it to get it right. Yeah, it's down to personal preference. If you want to stay high, absolutely fine. If you want to get more aerodynamic though, you can have to consider going lower. Yeah, simple as that. So hopefully I've covered all the main parts. There is a bit more to it than that. I'll talk about the benefits of being in the different positions in another video, but hopefully I've covered all the main bases for the moment. If you do have any questions, ask. If you've got some good top tips to add to it, feel free to add for the good and benefit of all. If you're not sure about something and you don't want to put it up publicly, feel free to direct message me. I'm more than happy to help as best I can. If you have any topic suggestions for future videos, add them in the comments. A lot of the videos I've done now, we're now on number 7 or 8, I think. Quite a few of them now have been suggestions that have come in. The next one's going to be based on another suggestion as well. So keep them coming. If I can get them in, I will. And yeah, thank you very much for your time and look forward to the next one.